What's up, guys? In today's video, I want to talk about something that would change Pokemon for the greater good, like so fast, and that is bans in ranked mode. Bans in ranked mode would fix so many issues. I think it would improve Pokemon by 10,000% instantly, and I feel like it would be such an easy way to implement as well, right? Just allow one person to ban one Pokemon per team, or even two Pokemon per team, and in the background of some absol gameplay fitting for it, because the biggest upside or like the downside of not having bans is, right? If the developer team, the balance team, screws up balancing, like currently with Absol, and in the past I'm going to talk about which Pokemon as well, they screw up the balancing of a Pokemon, the ranked players can just decide to ban it, right? Like, we don't have to deal with this overpowered Pokemon if we don't want to. And I think that's the biggest issue this game currently has, that you kind of forced to like pick this OP Pokemon, or you don't have a chance of winning. It's the same for when like Hooper came out, right? When Hooper was out and one team had Hooper and the other doesn't have Hooper. It's still again the same as well, you're screwed. Right now, Blissey, I absolutely hate playing against Blissey. If you don't have a Blissey, you just kind of lose the game. I feel like that's what happens half the time. And just having a ban, one or two bans, would just allow you to get rid of this, right? And you could decide, yeah, I don't want to play with this until it's, you know, balanced, or until I feel like it makes sense for this Pokemon to be part of our ranked experience again. And so who should decide who's going to ban? I think it would be quite simple. In my old game, the guy or the player that had the most points was able to ban one or two characters. There we go, right? If you're the highest points in the team, that person just gets decided, and that's it. I mean, I think that's the best like thing. You could also have your entire team vote on something, but I think that's a bit too much, or have it randomized. You can also have it randomized, but I think that would also be quite scuffed. I think the best thing is just having the highest ranked player by points be able to decide which Pokemon gets banned. I mean, you see, this is such a joke right now. I mean, it doesn't even take much skill. Like, and there's so many fluffy tail Absols running around right now that just flip like do every objective in like one shot at the same time. It's absolutely ridiculous. And this has happened so often already. Duraludon release, right? Like, Duraludon release was probably one of the worst times, or like the most unfun times this game has ever been, right? When it was Duraludon against Duraludon, and one team had Duraludon, and every objective just died to it, and you had no chance. The Pokemon did 140,000 damage every game. So having bans in ranked mode would help so much with that instantly, right? We could, as a community, decide, oh yeah, this is so broken, it just should not be part of a competitive ranked mode until it's fixed, right? Of course, it can be a bit unfun if like a new Pokemon comes out and people always ban the new Pokemon. It could be quite unfun. And I can see that being a thing as well. But if something is this broken, it can make players not want to play the game, right? Like, there are certain people right now that in my chat that say, I'm not gonna play until Absol is fixed. Like, I'm not having fun playing this game. I'm not having fun playing my attackers into Absol. It's just the worst thing ever. I have no chance of doing anything. You know, there's certain people who don't want to play squishy Pokemon. They don't want to play anything else. They just want to play squishy Pokemon, and that's it. And they can't right now because everywhere they walk, they just get one shot by Absol like it's nothing. It's an absolute joke. So this is obviously the beginning of maybe having a draft mode as well. You can also talk about a draft mode a bit. I think draft mode is maybe a bit too early for this game still. We already have enough Pokemon for draft mode, but I think the community of this game is not ready yet for a draft mode, and I think it's quite hard to implement because it has to be fast, right? The game is 10 minutes, like the draft mode has to be between 1 or 2 minutes long. I think that would be totally reasonable. 1 to 2 minutes a draft mode, and that's totally fine. So like 10 seconds per pick or something, and make it to be like 1 minute to 1:30. I think it would be perfect time for having a draft mode. But first, I just really want to see bans. I really want to see bans. My old game as well, the first ever season in my old game, Heroes of the Storm, by the way, had no bans as well. It was terrible. It was like, and like, there wasn't even mirror picks as well there. So it was like whoever had first pick, which team had first pick, just picked the most overpowered character on the current patch and kind of just won the games. It was also ridiculous. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about this. I think that's just something the game desperately needs. There's more thing this game needs that I also want to talk about in future videos, but this one is just about bans. It's like the same with Dragon Knight meta, right? Dragon Knight meta was just awful. It was absolutely awful and unfun to play. I think it probably made people quit the game. So do we really want people to quit the game because one Pokemon is beyond overpowered and you can't deal with it? Me as a solo queue player, I would just also love to just ban Blissey out, as I mentioned already. Let me know which Pokemons you guys would ban. But yeah, so what is the downsides of maybe banning a Pokemon? I think Unite has a lot of one-trick ponies, right? There's a lot of players who only play one Pokemon. And they'd be like, oh, but now I can't play my favorite Pokemon, so I'm just going to AFK. I already saw this argument. I made a tweet about this, being like, yeah, but if this guy doesn't get his favorite Pokemon because it's banned, he's just not going to play. He's just going to go AFK. But that's a bad mindset, right? Like, if someone only wants to play one Pokemon, he doesn't belong into a ranked mode. It's very straightforward, especially in MOBA. In MOBA, it has to be diverse. Games have to feel different every single time. And if you only play one Pokemon, well, that's not really the game's for it, right? You should be forced. If you play a competitive game mode, you should be forced to play more than 1 or 2 Pokemon. Also, like, what number of bans would be fine right now? I think 2 bans. I think 2 bans per team would already be quite fine. But I was so happy just having 1 ban per team. 1 ban per team would already make me quite happy. We could also have like 2 bans per team, but we don't show it. So like in League of Legends, as an example, every single player in League of Legends bans one character. So you end up having 10 bans, but it could be double things as well, because you don't see what your opponents ban until you've banned. So, you know, like someone like Cinderace could be banned twice. Also something you could do. So both teams ban 2 Pokemon, and it could be both teams banning Blissey and both teams banning Absol, you know, that could totally be fine. And I think it would also totally be a fine, reasonable thing. So you could potentially have 4 bans, but at minimum you always have two banned characters, you know, which would even kind of out. I think that would be already amazing. Same for tournaments. I feel like tournaments, just for tournaments as well, tournaments could be so much more exciting, right? If one team is able to ban Hooper out. And I think games would already be so much different. Like, it would just up the diversity of Pokemon by so much. There's so many Pokemon as well. Just get completely out-pressured by how broken certain Pokemon are. Just like Absol right now. Like, certain Pokemon can't even play the game. Or junglers, right? Certain junglers can't even play because you don't play the best jungler in the game. What are you doing? And there's just so many oppressive Pokemon that if they're in the game, you can't pick anything else. And I think it's just awful. So I really want to see bans. I think it would be also one of the easiest like fixes of making gameplay instantly so much more fun without even thinking about it. I thought, like, I also want to make a video about talking about Zapdos, because I think Zapdos is another huge issue this game has. Obviously, I've already made a video about rank mode in general. I think rank mode's also obviously a problem. And again, these videos are not meant as hate or anything. I just want to have reasonable discussion, because again, I want this game to also succeed as much as you guys. So what do you guys think? Do you guys think you would have much more fun with bans if you were able to ban out a Pokemon? Do you guys think the game would be much more enjoyable? Maybe it's just me as well. Like, I really want feedback on things like this, like if you guys agree or not. I don't want to also create an echo chamber. I want you guys to have your own opinions and tell me what you think. If you think, Chris, no, the game is just not made for, you know, bans and draft mode. It's just too casual for that. Which, you know, I can totally see as a reasoning as well. But in the end, it's a MOBA game. I think MOBAs are one of the most competitive games you can have, right? So, but in the end, yeah, it's made for a casual audience, right? So maybe having bans and draft system will just never be a thing because this game was not made for it. Which, I mean, is totally reasonable argument, right? Totally reasonable argument, and I can totally agree that this could be the case. I think it just hurts the game. I think it's just a problem right now. And currently, so I mean, this Absol is just so, Absol is just so broken, right? And you saw the gameplay in the background as well. You just delete people without even looking at them. One psycho card, night slash. I think almost every player can play this as well now. Even if you've never played Absol before, you can do well with this build. I see people who've never played Absol before who drop 20 kills per game. It is absolutely ridiculous. And it's just absolutely ridiculous. Here as well again, psycho card, night slash, and this guy's just instantly dead. The diff extent doesn't stand a chance whatsoever. Oh, how did this game actually go out? We actually lost Zapdos here. Let's talk about the end of this game a bit. We did lose Zapdos because Cinderace was doing it. But I was going to backcap. And yeah. So I want to make more Let's Talk videos in general. The game was still not won. It was a very close game in the end because they just did Zapdos. There's also so many, I just hate it right now. There's so many fluffy tail Absols running around, just doing Zapdos on spawn, doing every Dreadnought. Doing Dreadnoughts instantly is fine. Maybe stick maybe a bit too much damage though. A bit too much damage around. But yeah, the fact that people just... I already saw some tournaments. Like, I'm going to make another video tomorrow about Zapdos, and I will talk about things I would improve on Zapdos. So look forward to that video as well, because I already saw tournaments where people just on spawn use everything on Absol, Bliss Unite the Absol, and Zapdos dies in 4 seconds. And that's also not really okay. So yeah, ban system is probably one of the biggest wishes I have for this game. One of the biggest wishes. Of course, I mean, the biggest wish is drafting mode, because I think drafting mode makes games so much more fun. When you have 10 different Pokemons in a game, I think every game feels so much more unique, right? And, you know, just building a team comp is also quite fun instead of just having mirror picks all the time and having both teams like a Blissey, Hooper on both teams. I think it's just boring. Like, to me, it's boring having the same Pokemon in both teams. But maybe some of you find it entertaining. I know there was like an argument where someone said, yeah, but if I'm the Hooper, I'm so happy to destroy the enemy's Hooper to show him who's the better Hooper, right? I mean, that's kind of an argument as well. I guess, you know, I could see that as well. You know, like, I want to be the better Absol player, so I'm totally happy playing against other Absols to show them that I'm better. But in the end, I think games would feel much more unique if we had a draft system. But yeah, first off, bans. I think I really wish they just add bans. I hope until Worlds we get it. I really want to see bans at the World Championship. That's my dream. I really it would be so much more entertaining. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. For any damage number fans right here, we ended up doing 99,000 damage, I think, in this match. We also played against Gatlu, actually. We played against Gatlu on the Aegis Slash. 93,000 damage. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments what you think, and appreciate you guys.